Ladies and gentlemen, Irene Wilkins here, founder of Achieve It Business Solutions, and I'm in your business. Ladies and gents, Irene, your solution is here. Irene Wilkins, that is, founder and owner of Achieve It Business Solutions, and I'm in your business. Today, we are going to be talking about some updates with the PPP loans. I've had people reach out to me asking me to give an update, let you guys know what's going on as far as how they're looking into the fraud cases. And people actually want to know who's been charged so far. So I am going to go over that with you today. For those of you just tuning in for the first time, please like and subscribe to these videos and the channel. I appreciate it. We are doing amazing. I appreciate all the comments and positive feedback. And I'm looking forward to helping you guys in the areas of learning, business, what's going on with these PPPs, as well as taxes, tax advice, how you should be handling this in your business. And for those of you who are still just continuing to work at your jobs, maybe you're not satisfied, we will also be having videos on how to find better employment, how to do your resume and interview. So I look forward to that. Now, on to our PPP loans, you guys. So I'm going to pull up some information since I cannot memorize all of this at this moment. But I really wanted to talk to you guys. I found this really great article talking about, so this article came out towards the end of May, but it was talking about what's going on as far as Congress, the DOJ, and everyone, all these government agencies looking into the fraud of the PPP loans. So many people reached out, some not feeling so positive about some of the information that was being shared. Most people absolutely feeling positive, maybe nervous also. But a lot of people were under the assumption that you're out in the clear once you get the Paycheck Protection Program forgiveness taken care of. And as I had mentioned, due to the experience that I've had in taxes and business, I felt like that was not necessarily the case. Sure, they said that they're not even going to look into those tax returns. But let's be honest, you guys, as I mentioned in a previous video, if you owe the IRS $25, or as one of the comments that came in, one of the individuals who commented said he owed $25 to the IRS and they harassed him about it. So they will look for the monies, no matter if you got the forgiveness or not. They still have the opportunity to be able to look into your actual case. All the money is traceable, so it's not like, you can just hide and they don't know where they deposited the money or your address or any of those things. So if they do want to come after people, they absolutely will. There's really nothing that we can do about it. And as some people mentioned, even if you return the money early, there is still a possibility that they can prosecute you. That's just the reality if they find that there's fraud. Everyone who got the PPP did not commit fraud, but tons of people did. So for those who maybe know somebody or who themselves got the PPP and are still nervous about it, here's what's going on. Congress actually, so they enacted this program. We all know why, to save the economy. But here's the efforts that's going on right now, you guys, to deal with the fraud. So as things are dying down, well, I won't say the pandemic is dying down because there's still a lot of people, unfortunately, who are losing their lives. There's a new wave going on. But as um, the financials are starting to even out, as people are going back to work, as businesses, depending on what type of business, there's lots of businesses that are booming right now since the pandemic. And people, I want you guys to also know, in June, I believe it was, over, I don't know, I want to say like 3 million people quit their job. It was a ridiculous number of people who quit their job. It could even be more, and decided, they're tired. They're tired of whatever their companies have, with the stress, with how they're being treated. They're starting businesses, things like that. So it's crazy how things are playing out right now. But for those who actually are wondering, is the government really starting to come after people? They are now they're testing the PPP loan recipients' need for the loan. So by looking into the payroll calculations, and it actually sources United States versus Kindambu, a case that happened January 28th of 2021. So this person was actually prosecuted for miscalculating or, being fraudulent in the payroll. And so now they're using that case moving forward for other cases. They're also looking into the individuals who got these loans and started living lavish lifestyles. So people who are getting boats, taking trips all the time, getting, body enhancements, just outlandish stuff that they weren't doing before. They can look into how you were spending and what your income was like, how your social media, how you were posting, what you look like. And then you start taking all these lavish trips across the world there, and you got the loan. They're like, okay, let's look more into this person. So to this date, actually, as of March of this year, there have been now, as of March, so we're not talking about, in 2019 or early 2020 when they started looking into the fraud. But as of March, we are in July, there has now been 500 people charged with PPP related criminal offenses. And as it has been stated before, usually if you are charged with one offense, there's several to come after that because they're all connected. If you were found fraudulent in your loan application and then the bank distributed the money into your bank account, that is fraud also. The actual bank fraud carries the heaviest fines and the heaviest potential time of being prosecuted. So it's worse, almost, it seems like, to lie to the banks than, almost the government. It's kind of crazy. But those carry the more harsh charges. So in January of this year, FINRA started sending out letters to an undisclosed amount of individuals seeking their PPP loan information. So when people were saying, oh, well, if you got the forgiveness, they're just going to leave you alone, this is actually stating that they were asking for more information. It does not say, that they had the loan for 2 months and they asked during then. We really don't have the information details to know like how long these people have PPP loans, and why they reached out to these individuals. And then as of the time of this article, at least 9 law enforcement agencies had started going after over 3,000 firms. So, and then looking into their clients' information. Isn't that crazy? Other agencies, and this has kind of been mentioned in other videos. If you guys haven't seen my other videos, please feel free. There's other topics inside of the PPP loan, in-depth topics that you can view. But so the SBA is auditing. We've heard about them auditing ones who got over 2 million. I have seen some cases being prosecuted for people who made who claimed as little as 120,000. That's the least amount that I've seen thus far, but that's a big difference from $2 million, right? And then they actually have two committees that they have formed. The Special Inspector General for Pandemic Recovery, and then the Interagency Pandemic Response Accountability Committee. So they have formed two special entities that are being tasked out to look into all of these things. And what's really interesting is that the DOJ, I want to see, okay, it says they're ramping up their enforcement and investigation efforts related to the PPP loans in order to, and this is in their own words, send a clear and unmistakable message to those who would exploit a national emergency to steal taxpayer-funded resources for vulnerable individuals and small businesses. So now they're saying that they're ramping up things to look into these people. And we already have seen articles, or I've seen articles, you guys, where they talk about billions of dollars. They're very well aware of billions of dollars of fraud. They just haven't gotten to all of them. So it's really interesting. I mean, it's just crazy. Their cites other loan fraud codes, mail fraud, wire fraud. That's a big one. Let's see what else. There was something else I wanted to share with you guys. Oh, the False Claims Act. That's something that I had spoke about. People are telling on others. And a few people told me in some of the videos or wrote comments and said, shh, you're talking too much and stuff. Hey guys, listen. I didn't write these rules. These laws were in fruition way before I ever made my first video. You know, a few weeks ago, that video in particular, it's nothing that I'm doing. I mean, it's no different than you guys, you know, we watch movies about terrorism. Some people may learn from those movies or videos, but it's already out there. All the information is out there. That's why when I did the Google search to actually just look if people are aware of that, it populated before I even finished, even close putting in the information. So people have already been looking into, if I tell, am I getting paid? And I don't want to get paid at the expense of someone else, but everybody isn't like that. And we've known that people have been grimy for so much of their life. And, you know, we should never put ourselves in a position for someone to be able to get us caught up in something. And if you have children, if you have responsibilities, how much more so? Some people might not want to hear that, but it is the truth. So part of this these videos is to inform you, educate you, and then make an educated decision on how you move forward in the things that you're doing. Because some of us, like myself, I'm responsible for more than just me. And some of you, or a lot of you, are in the same situation. So there's blueprints out there. There's things that we could do to change the narrative. Let's go ahead and do that and assist each other. So a couple of things that you can do just to prepare for the possibility of an oncoming PPP enforcement coming your way, an audit or an investigation, is know your exposure. So in certain areas, you need to review your application. how you said you used the proceeds versus how you actually used it. Your forgiveness application, you need to relook at that, because if your forgiveness application is seen and they say there's something fraudulent on there, then that forgiveness that you may have even gotten already is no longer valid. And then your potential liability. And then the certification, you guys, there was a certification for those who got it that said that's the only means that they had, was they had to get the loan. So if, you know, there was actually other monies that you had and you didn't need it, they're going to look into that. And then, as I mentioned, how you used the monies. Did you use it actually on payroll? For the forgiveness, did you actually use the 60% on payroll? And on utilities and on your rent. So that's kind of, and then document everything. That was really important. So I wasn't going to make this video a 30-minute video. I just wanted, before I go, guys, let me go ahead and I will put her name in the comments, but somebody asked me, please tell me some of the cases going on. Keep us updated. So here we go, okay? 4 days ago, a California man, that's where I'm at in Cali, was arrested for $3.6 million in PPP and EIDL loan fraud. I've had people reach out and say, well, the EIDL loan is not the same. You're not gonna, you really don't have to pay that back. It still has the same criteria. You don't have to pay that back if you actually use the funds for what you said. So if you get caught with the PPP fraud and you got that one, then they're going to put that as fraudulent also. So this person has 6 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of bank fraud. It says if convicted, he faces a max of 30 years in prison to each bank count fraud, 20 years max in prison for each count of wire fraud. So unfortunately, a person like this guy, Tran, could spend the rest of their life in jail should they be prosecuted to the highest ability of the law. And he claimed in excess of $8 million that he made. He got $3.6 million, or about $2 million, I'm sorry, in his fraud. That was him, and that was 4 days ago. Let's see. There's a man awaiting trial for the COVID bank fraud. And actually it says that he did it again. So as he's facing these charges, you guys, he submitted another application. He's facing bank fraud and money laundering charges. And he submitted another. There is no chill there. He does not care. He is all in. One of those people like, well, I'm in trouble anyway. Let me go ahead and go as hard as I can. So he submitted this application. He already received $3.8 million. So this is someone else in Pennsylvania. But then he submitted an application last month seeking $500,000. Maybe he was trying to pay for his lawyer. I don't know. He was out on bond. It looks like he's not now. So he was arrested again. Yeah, he's not out on bond anymore, and he won't get another one. Gosh. 4 hours ago, you guys, someone else was sentenced to 12 years for 4 hours ago. And this is on the Department of Justice website. Someone was sentenced to 12 years for $7.3 million of fraud. And then 4 LA County residents have been found guilty. I just wanted to give you guys a few. Or this lovely lady who's been with us kind of since the beginning, which is 6 weeks. But thank you. So 4 LA County residents are found guilty of fraudulently fraudulently obtaining millions of dollars from COVID relief programs. 8-day trial. They were found guilty of 1 count of conspiracy to commit bank fraud and wire fraud, 11 counts of wire fraud, 8 counts of bank fraud, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit money laundering, because they all schemed to do it. So it looks like they're going to have some time, and I'll keep you guys updated and let you know what time they got. Man, I feel bad for people. I know so many people have been like, I don't feel bad. And that's okay if you don't feel bad for people who intentionally do wrong. But for me, I just feel like people were in a bad position to begin with this pandemic. They didn't really know how to get out of it. They listened to other people saying this is free money, and unfortunately now they're in a position that like I feel bad for the family members who, if these are fathers or mothers, grandparents, or young adults who are now going to be taken away from their family, how the family's suffering. So I wanted to update you guys on that. I'll keep you informed as more and more information comes out. And thank you so much for tuning in today. We'll keep the videos coming. Please, again, like and subscribe to this channel. And as I always say, success doesn't just happen. I'll help you achieve it.